In Brazil, Rock in Rio Festival in January last year. And then later on in the year we went on and we did a concert in Auckland, New Zealand, and some in Australia and some in...
You ever notice how the quietest one in the room usually sees the most? That was John Deacon. While Freddie lit up the stage like fire, Brian tore solos in half, and Roger made the ground shake. John just stood there, still, locked in. Bass line steady, face unreadable. Some said he was shy, some said quiet. But maybe he was just protecting himself from the spotlight, from the noise, from the people he once called brothers. Because what if all that silence wasn't peace? What if it was pain? Behind Queen's thunder and glory was a man slowly slipping into shadows, not by accident, by choice. Because long before John Deacon walked away from the stage, he had already walked away in his heart. See, in the early days, John wasn't just some tag-along bassist. He helped build Queen's biggest anthems from the ground up. Another One Bites the Dust, You're My Best Friend. That groove, that warmth, that weight, that was all John. But when it came to decisions, meetings, recognition, he was left out, overlooked, undervalued. Freddie saw him. Freddie stood up for him. But once Freddie was gone, that protection disappeared. And what was left? Two bandmates moving forward, and one man feeling like the soul of Queen had just died with his friend. When Brian and Roger hit the road again years later, teaming up with other singers, calling it Queen. To fans, it was a tribute. To John, it felt like betrayal. Because to him, Queen without Freddie wasn't Queen. It was a brand, a business deal, a hollow echo of what used to be sacred. And when they sent him that invitation, neatly typed, all formal, asking him to come back, he didn't just say no, he said nothing. Didn't call, didn't write, didn't blink, just stared at the letter and tore it in half. Some say he burned it, others say he cried. But either way, that moment spoke louder than any reply ever could. Because that wasn't just rejection, that was his line in the sand. Long before that moment, John had already felt the weight of being the outsider. Every time a song idea got brushed off, every time he showed up to a studio and found out decisions were made without him. Every time he opened his mouth, only to feel like his voice didn't count. He didn't want fame. He wanted fairness. But the deeper the band got into the business, the less he recognized the people around him. And then one night, Tokyo, hotel room, quiet, too quiet. The band had just crushed another arena show. But John sat on the edge of his bed, suitcase packed, passport in his pocket, ready to disappear. No note, no plan, just leave, call a cab, catch a flight, vanish. But then the phone rang. It was Freddie. He didn't yell, didn't beg. He just said one thing: don't do anything stupid. That call, it saved John from walking out forever. But it didn't fix what was already broken. Because the John who got on stage the next day wasn't the same man anymore. He smiled, he played, he posed for the cameras. But inside, he was gone. After Freddie's death, the silence got heavier. John stopped doing interviews, stopped showing up, stopped letting the world in. People called him reclusive, said he just wanted the money. But no, he was hurting. Depression wrapped around him like a fog. Not even music could pull him back. The mansion got quiet. Curtains closed, phone off the hook. And when Queen became something else, a band with new voices, new faces, shiny tributes and reunion tours, John wasn't interested. Because to him, it was like watching a body being propped up without its soul. That final invitation to come back, he saw it not as respect, but as betrayal in a nice envelope. He didn't scream, didn't argue, he just walked away. And sometimes, that's the loudest thing a person can do. John Deacon's silence wasn't weakness. It was wisdom. It was pain. It was principle. He wasn't bitter. He was broken. Not by fans, not by failure, but by the very people who once called him brother. He gave everything to a band. And when that band lost its heart, he chose to save what was left of his own. So now, when you hear that quiet bass line, feel the rhythm holding the song together, just know, that was a man who carried more than the music. He carried the cracks in the band. the weight of being unheard, and the courage to walk away before it crushed him completely. John Deacon didn't fade out. He chose silence. He chose peace. And in doing that, he told the loudest truth of all.